Hey guys, Nate Morris here, MasterLSAT.com. In this video, we are going to start going over the questions from Section 2 of LSAT Prep Test 90. And the truth is, there's 3 other sections to this test. We've already gone over all those sections because they're exactly the same as the May 2020 LSAT Flex, which we have a playlist for on this channel. We go over every single question, every single answer choice. So I encourage you to check those videos out for the other 3 sections of this test. Of Test 90, that is. For Section 2 of Test 90, that's a logical reasoning section, 25 questions. We don't have videos yet for that section, so we're going to start doing that today. I'm going to start with question number 1. I might not go in order. I might sort of prioritize some of the trickier questions first. So if you guys have any particular questions that you want me to get to first, let me know in the comments below. But we're going to start today with question number 1. So let's take a look at question number 1. It's a conclusion question. Which of the following most accurately expresses the main conclusion of the argument? By the way, in case I haven't said this already, you can access this test on the Law Hub, the LSAT Prep section. You can get access to this test, official LSAT Prep Test number 90. Try it first on your own, and then you can use these videos to help you out with some of the questions to make you sort of have a better understanding of them, especially the ones that you had trouble with. So we're going to start with number 1. Number 1 asks us, which of the following most accurately expresses the main conclusion? So we're looking for just identifying the conclusion of the argument. Let's take a look at the argument. The argument says, many people who enjoy listening to popular music don't realize that it's been used to express these political and religious messages. After all, now always watch out for the words after all. That's a good clue. After all means we're about to say something that is going to support what we just said before the words after all. So you should take an umbrella with you today. After all, it's going to rain, right? After all introduces a reason, a support for what I just said before after all. So the first sentence says people who listen to pop music don't realize that there's all these religious and political messages. After all, what's my support for that? Well, because popular music has been adopted by social movements to express their viewpoints, since it has the potential to contribute to converting non-members to those movements, as well as to raise the morale and express solidarity of the participants of the movements. So essentially, that whole big second sentence of the paragraph is bringing support for the first sentence. And really, if you had to do this question in 5 seconds, all you really have to do is see sentence 1, after all, sentence 2. And that means that sentence 1 is the conclusion, after all introduces the support. In this case, we're bringing supporting examples to prove the point made in sentence 1, which is that pop music has these religious and political messages. People don't realize it, but it has these religious and political messages. So let's look for something that seems to paraphrase that point made in sentence 1 in the answer choices. That's going to be the main conclusion of the argument. A says that pop music is what accounts for the success of social movements. So not only is that not the conclusion of the argument, it's not even stated at any point in the argument, right? This is a little too extreme of a statement. A basically says that pop music is what is responsible for the success of social movements. That's not said by this paragraph. The paragraph says that social movements use pop music to help them out, but A goes a step further and says pop music is what accounts for the success of social movements. So it's certainly not the conclusion. We already knew what the conclusion was that we were looking for. Not only is it not the conclusion, it's not even said in the paragraph. It's a more extreme version of what was said in the paragraph. So it's definitely wrong. B is sort of a distortion of what was said in the paragraph. B says that the entertainment value of pop music has kind of been exaggerated. We never said that. All we said in the paragraph is that pop music, in addition to having entertainment value, it also has these other things, these religious and political messages, sort of unbeknownst to a lot of the people that listen to it. But we never went so far as to say, B, that the entertainment value has been overemphasized. No, it could be that the entertainment value has been appropriately emphasized. It's just that there's also these other things as well. So B is kind of a misrendering of what the paragraph is saying. It's not the conclusion. The conclusion is just what is said in the first sentence, which is nothing to do with the entertainment value. The entertainment value is what it is. Our only point is to say that, unbeknownst to a lot of people, in addition to the entertainment value, there's also these other things, these religious and political messages. So to say B, that the entertainment value has been overemphasized, that was not something that was ever said by the paragraph. C is definitely a distortion of what the paragraph said. The paragraph never said that pop music is the number one, most effective way to convert people to social movements, right? The paragraph did say that pop music is sort of used to try to convert people to social movements. It never said that it's the best, the most effective way of doing that. So it was never said by the paragraph. It certainly was not the conclusion. We already know what the conclusion is, and that's what we're looking for in the answer choices. C is not that, so it's the wrong answer. D is exactly right. This is basically the main point of the first sentence. Now, we have already identified the first sentence as the conclusion, right? Because the words "after all," following the first sentence, introduce the whole rest of the paragraph, which is supporting examples, supporting evidence for the first sentence. And therefore, the first sentence is the conclusion. You always have a conclusion and supporting evidence, right? In this case, the supporting evidence is sentence 2. The conclusion is sentence 1, which is making the point that pop music has these other purposes other than just entertainment, right? That's what sentence 1 says. A lot of people who listen to pop music don't realize that it has these religious and political messages. What's my support for that? Well, because after all, it's been adopted by social movements to express those viewpoints, etc., yada, yada, yada. But the main point is sentence 1, which is that pop music has these other purposes, and therefore D is a very simple, perfect, accurate rendering of the point of that first sentence, and therefore D is the main conclusion of the argument and the correct answer. E is kind of an easy one to cross off because this was never a point made by the paragraph, that pop music has this profound emotional effect on the listeners. It never says profound emotional impact anywhere in this paragraph. That was not a point made by this paragraph, and therefore it certainly is not the conclusion. If you found this video useful, don't forget to hit subscribe. And for thousands more clear LSAT explanation videos, go to masterlsat.com.